It's a bow breaker.
Yes, big time.
Someday we need a room with a bigger ceiling, higher ceiling. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Masterclass. We're very excited because today's Masterclass focuses on people who play in the alto clef more often than not. And we all know that the viola, as some of you know, I like to say that we love all of you, but we especially love our violas. So, and somebody recently told us in auditions that that she wasn't finding her happiness in violin, but she found her happiness in viola. And we love to hear that from people when they're finding their happiness in viola, because you're always needed and you're always an important voice in the program. And we're very fortunate and honored to have Mr. Stephen Tenenbom with us today. I hope you all are reading the bios that I linked to when I send out the weekly messages. He had a wonderful career working at the Curtis Institute, at the Juilliard School, at Manhattan Manus.
What was it, Manus, Bard? I mean, I'll go anywhere that anybody hires. Weddings, funerals, anything.
Yeah, viola will travel, so to speak. Wonderful teaching career, performance with the Orion Quartet, which is quite a legendary chamber group. And we're very lucky he's here in Philadelphia, and you've been back to visit us a bunch of times, and we're always happy to see you. So he's one of the most welcome visitors here for our master classes and our programs. It's always helpful to our students. So we thank you for being here once again. Our performers are all ready to go. Our first performer today is Kiran Anderson. He will be playing the third movement of the Handel B minor sonata. Concerto. Okay, I almost had it right. I always have to mess up one thing each week, don't I? Handel B minor concerto. He is a student of Jay Freivogel, and both he and Penny, who we'll hear from in a little while, are being accompanied by Joo-hee Kim. So let's welcome Kiran and let's hear him.
guys have no idea how hard that piece is. That's really good. Way to go. Do you have any idea how hard that piece is? Yeah, you do, right? Bravo. Great. Amazing. Really nice playing. How do you feel? Do you get to play a lot in class, in master classes, and perform and whatever? Is it?
Not often. I think this is my fourth or like third ever.
Ever?
Yeah.
And what are some of the kind of experience you go through when you're playing in front of a crowd?
I get very nervous, but I feel like I can find my way when I'm playing. But before I'm on the rack.
You are? Yeah. Yeah. So look at maybe one thing to do is to think of that nervous energy that you have as excitement and not fear. So turn your fear into like, I can't wait to get this thing out there and play like that. So and did you feel like when you're playing it calmed down a little bit, or is it still like, okay, good? Because one of the things I want to talk about is, there's your name, you're on. Okay. What's the character of the piece?
I think it has a very like playful tone to it throughout. Like it's not like it changes obviously like throughout the piece, but I think it maintains like sort of a playful.
Playful? Yeah. So does the fact it's in B minor have any? No, I'm not. It's not. That's good. It does. It has a spirit to it for sure. But maybe there's a certain kind of, a lot of composers will write a piece where the first movement's like in B minor, and then the last movement might be in B major or something like that. To kind of end with a freshness to it. But I think that it doesn't have a little bit of a kind of a strong temperament to it. So I would like to explore a little bit of playing something that's not just every note exactly the same accents and stuff. So when I hear you start, this note, the second note in this measure, has a big accent. Dee da dee da dee da dee. Then it starts dee da dee da dee da dee da. Can you play a little softer when you have ba dee da ba dee da ba dee da dee da dee da dee da. Let's get rid of some of the accents so that it has a little bit more contour or something like that. So can you play this by yourself? Let's say this these two notes lead to this one. B. Then this one's kind of it's almost like a rebound, you know. Bum, bum. The next two notes, bum, 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 bum. It's like almost like a ball that is like a real deflated basketball and it goes boom. It almost doesn't really bounce, but not dee da dee da dee da dee da dee. Just a little slowly. It doesn't have to be like super tempo. Good, good. And then can you hold the longer notes a little longer so that they feel like they're not dee da 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 dee da dee da dee da dee da dee da. So the longer notes are kind of longer because they have a little more fat in them, you know, a little something. Yeah, good. That sounds great. That sounds already good. So can we just let's just do those two notes. Right, and then let's feel like our bow arm is it's kind of like in the world of music. Things are like little workmen. This is like he's the supervisor, the poet, you know. This is the artistic part of our playing is actually the right arm. It's not the arm that we're thinking about. Probably you're really focused on your left. Your left hand's really good. Basically, it's really good. So I would actually let's do just a couple of them strings. It sounds like a little baby music, but. You can if you do it the right way, you can almost feel that little rebound in your bow arm. You can kind of feel like whoa, whoa, like it's sort of bound, you know, kind of it sort of automatically comes back without like two impulses. Ah, that's good, yeah. And good. And so the upbow is going to be flowing, you know. I think what's happening is that you probably assume that when you get to the end of the bow, you stop, and then this one starts again and comes back. I would say that this one just sort of bounces back without an extra feeling of stopping. So don't worry about the length of the first count. Right? Good. Right. And in terms of effort, how much effort is that compared to your first version? A lot less, right? There's the secret there, right? It's a lot easier to play. So when you go, don't worry about vibrating on it and stuff. Like, don't make it so important. Good. Go on. Right. I'm getting a little bit disturbed by the fact that you put too many impulses in your playing. So, this should just those two, just two notes. C sharp and F sharp. Yeah, and let me make a suggestion that with this one, you put your finger right on top of the two strings, but really, really flat like that. And it'll probably check it out to see if the pretty in tune. Well, it really not, yeah. Right, relax these guys a little bit. Relax. Relax. Ah, good. Up. And then. Yeah, good. Does that feel, you know, it's like, so ultimately, it's a very artistic way of thinking about how to play and stuff, because we're sort of ballet dancers when we're playing. it seems a little silly, but it is true that if you show the feeling in the music, I go, right, yeah. Can you do that? Like, can we do that together? Like, I don't know. I can hold my bow like this. You know, let's just imitate each other. I'm going to go, and the two pickups are going to go. You know, now the two up bows are going to, or the pickups are really. That's another good way of practicing too, is the stepping thing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go. I'm not going to even play my instrument. Yeah. So it's a little stiff right now, but so I'm just going. Don't stop moving though. Just keep. I'm always moving. Good. Better, yeah. Terrific. That's like really brave to do that. Like that's so embarrassing to do in front of other people. You're going to be a great performer someday. Really, keep doing that kind of stuff. So yeah. So we don't have to dance now, but let's try and get that feeling. Great. No, that's already better. So I would actually, it says allegro molto on there, right? So you think of like, that's as fast as I can, faster you can play, allegro molto. But what if you counted it in 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I feel the pulses of all the 8 notes, it feels really fast to me. If I go it feels like pretty slow actually. So that's going to get the character and a little bit more of that kind of temperamental. So let's play a little bit. So now what I want you to do is to get rid of some beats, at least the second note of every measure. Yeah, and especially so feel like there's not every note's exactly the same. Good. That's really good. Good. So now this one that goes really high. Where is that here? Right. Can you feel like you just play with a really flowing, open, full arm strokes on that? Yeah. Much better. Cool. Okay. So that's one thought. That's to get the piece a little bit more interesting. I guess is the word. Can you hold your viola for a second? No, hold your viola normally. So, and is that your general hand position of like how you're going to be playing like a scale or something like that? Is that how your fingers lie?
Yeah. So.
Right. So if I had to tell you like you had to play your 4th finger like really fast now, it's sort of like on the couch over there sleeping. I sort of feel like it's really great to feel. Here's the advice I would give. Hold your instrument up. So one thing is to get rid of this curve right here a little bit. Feel not too much, just like okay, hold your hand up and balance your hand on top of your arm. let it flap around like this, and you're gonna go, Yeah, right, so you see that there's just a little tiny bit of curve, because right now, like if I told you there's a cliff here and you had to hang on the cliff, like a little ledge there, and you had to hang from it, would you hang like this? Well, that's really weak, right? You know, if you, like, here, squeeze my hand really hard. Hard to do, right? Now squeeze my hand. Ouch! Yeah. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's just a little, these are good things. If you're gonna continue in as a musician, it's good to keep like really good what they call setup. They call this part the setup. All right, so there. Now, what I'm gonna try and do is without doing this too much, I don't wanna do that. I wanna try and find a way to get these bones here more aligned with the strings. I think that the kicker, I'm saving it for last, is you want your fingers to be lying on top of the string. So you're gonna pull this bone in a little bit, and this dude is gonna go back this way. So I can take I can take these bones and turn them a little bit. Right. Oh, perfect. Perfect. That means that this finger is gonna feel a little handicapped because it's has a little funny, in order to play the note, you have to kind of pinch it down. That's good, because this is the strongest finger anyway. So we can put that, and then these guys, this one and this one, but especially from 2 to 3 to 4, we want them to actually be where the balance in the hand is. Not here, and then we reach up to 4. That's why 4 fingers always like this big pain in the butt a little bit, right? So if we feel, so I would play, for now, let's practice one quick thing. Start on F here on the C string, and play a scale 3, 4, shift to 3rd position, 3, 4, so I can play F major. So it's going to be F, G, A, B flat, only 3 and 4. Okay? So in order to get this right now, train your finger just a little bit to feel like it twists this way, rolls this way, because it's going to be able to then curl that way. You know what I'm saying? So my finger, I'm doing this, right, rather than trying to push this. Yeah, you kind of want to, yeah, that's good. Right, good. Relax these dudes, okay. Pull down in first position. Yeah, keep yourself looking there. Yeah, so keep that looking at that little bit of curve there. It feels weird, right? It feels so weird, and you probably feel like you can't play. But if you get into that setup, your world is going to be. Remember how you made it a lot easier to play the dancing around? It's going to make your world a lot more comfortable. And I think when you get comfortable in how you hold the instrument set up like that, then your playing goes quickly. It improves sound and all those kind of things. Okay, so. It's hard to demonstrate in this piece because this is really a kind of doesn't have a lot of long notes in it, right?
You're looking for only long notes.
Yeah, maybe. Well, it's just okay. Yeah. Well, or here, even at that 28. Yeah, good, right? So actually, when you do this, it's that hanging onto the cliff like this, and you want to get everything. Yeah. Yes. Just rounding everything. Relax. Well, main thing is relax your fingers too. Yeah. Go, keep going. Right, good. Now, so the back of your knuckles is like pointing here. So I know it's something you can't do in a second, but when you're home practicing, just kind of like, I would actually practice without a bow. No, I said that your left hand is good. I take it back. Okay. But in terms of like, so this thing is, we're not gonna micromanage every O stroke, right? We're gonna figure that out. But this part is, like, you just kind of want to feel like that doesn't really change much from this thing that we did here. So we want our hand to look a little bit more like this. So it's not just getting the notes out any way we can. It's sort of, you can make it a little bit of like, okay, third finger, do you mind like curving a little bit, fourth finger? Yeah, coaxing your fingers to be a little bit more relaxed and responsive instead of forcing them into doing things. So, yeah. Okay. Any questions? We probably have to, oh, I got a second, right? What,
Yeah.
a couple more minutes?
Maybe like 4 minutes.
Let's play a little bit more, okay? So I'm going to stop bothering you. Something. So let's do the last page-ish. What's a good place to start?
Is it?
Wait, let's do the return. So 33. You have that 33. So I'm giving you things that I think are good, maybe you can take home and think about it. That if you take care of some of the setup things now, your life will be ever so happy. What ends up is you play a certain level because you kind of work around it and work things, and then you kind of hit a wall. So at some point, and that wall sometimes is pain, and you don't want to get there. You really don't. So the sooner you can get really good fundamental habits in your hand, then you're going to be limitless of where you can go. All right, I enjoyed it. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, I have a part. Thank you.
Well, sorry, I kind of got my book up there.
All right, we do some changing while we change here. So our next performer is Penny Tang. Penny is a student also of J. Freivogel. And
Very right.
Right. Okay, with Carrie Ryan. Sorry, Carrie. When did you? Okay, so I had that wrong. I have to get at least one or two things wrong. Everybody who's been watching me.
That's why we love you.
Gotta get it for her. So, but I will get the piece right. She's going to be playing the Brook Romance, and she's accompanied by Judy. Kenny?
beautiful. Really beautiful. Oh, great. So, change on the last note as late as you possibly can, so you can hold that note forever, because it's the ends of the notes sometimes that are most telling how we feel, right? So if you really want to hold that. Have that kind of feeling so you don't run out of it. Beautiful playing, beautiful. Unbelievably great. Here we are. That's you. It's so nice to hear this music. So what's your when this comes back at the end of the piece, it has much more passion in it, right? But what about the first phrase that you play?
Like in the piece over?
Yeah, well, your first entrance. I find it rather shy.
Yeah, it's like very sweet. Doesn't want to come out.
Right, but I find it timid. I mean, I find your interpretation of it. I mean, it's a romance. I think the feeling, even if it's having a little more. What's the word? It's like an urge for the people in the corners of the room to kind of feel the emotion you are. And if it's like it's a little, I'm holding too much in there. Do you think you could play a little bit more?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you certainly do in the rest of the piece. Boy, you're like take no prisoners at sometimes. That's fantastic. No, it's true. It's really a good thing. I'm not gonna teach you about it because I admire it a lot. So, can we try a more open feeling at the beginning? The piano, of course, the pianissimo and all that stuff, sempre pianissimo and the orchestra and stuff. But I think there's like 30, 65 people behind you, and they're playing soft. But your voice has to be projected. You know what I mean? Not aggressive. But can you get the same character that you do with? Try the open a little bit. That's better. There's a sense that I have. You get ready to play, and then there's like a little, okay, I better shoot the eighth and two, and I better put my thing down, rather than when I sing it, take a breath in and let the air out, and there's no putting the bow down on the string. So in English, you try to see if there's a way when you play the first note. That you expect a sound, and then you see if that's the sound you want, rather than, am I reading your mind right? There's a little bit of like, checking this, a little hesitation. Can we try it just without the piano ones, just to feel like, yeah, conduct me, show me, like, go, yeah, just conduct my first note. Good, I'm going to conduct you too, and I want you to feel like your pickup in the good. Do it again. That first pancake comes out a little funny sometimes. So okay, ready? And that was like so don't stop the bow. I mean, yes, there's something that happens, but make sure that you feel like this is going to happen in the note, rather than start and then start moving. Okay. Good. Yeah, first impressions are always the best, right? First impression is, okay, so can we do the opening again? What was I going to say? I think that's basically it, yeah. Yeah, good. So the notes we were playing are next note is so those are basically what he's writing, you know, the kind of skeleton of the piece. So he's going then all our job now is to play to get to the D. So can we in our sound and stuff have it's hard for me to put it in English, but the direction. It says crescendo there anyway. So we go down to the D flat. It's not. It's always kind of like growing and spinning around and getting more energy. Right on your entrance, okay? Much better. Phrasing, I think, is that thing where it builds and then it subsides, right? So when we're going from the when he's going to F on that, sorry, going to E. If you can, while you're playing this, can you feel like even though your notes are going down, you're still spinning and going to the E. So I think that's something to think about. Right now I can tell you're playing all the notes on the note heads are kind of getting louder and stuff, but I think in between, like when you're holding a long note, when we're doing that, that little change in your sound shows desire or longing or yearning, which is what romantic music is all about. It's kind of romantic, like that's the name of the piece, right? Okay? Can we do that entrance from your C natural? Good. Good. So fitting on so when I said like how we end notes, it tells a lot about us. So are these notes, is it a down feeling or an up feeling? Right. So try the bowing backwards. Can we try the like this? So those have that kind of feeling. So right there with that pickup. Good. So it's a little backwards now, right? So maybe that last one, you could take a little extra upload there if you wanted to. Great, that sounds beautiful. I want to be careful. This is not to be quiet when you play. I want to try and get rid of those sounds in between your shifts when you go. So what it means is in English, stop your bow. And then if you want to make a slide, but let's not have any that direction. There's a couple places I've marked in here. Is that another one where you play?
Yeah.
Right? Let's get rid of those sounds. And it really means there's two things that you have to do. You have to shift faster, and you have to lift your bow a little bit when you shift. And shifting faster, I think what is a good exercise is I try and shift on the impulse of the note that I'm going to, which is impossible to do because you have to actually get there before you play it. But 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if we think about that, if we don't, yeah. So can you play just as a practice, or maybe it's 2. I don't know your fingers, so maybe try it. Yeah, you know what I would do for that one? Now I know what you're doing. I would just stretch for it. Yeah, stretch. Okay, so I'm writing my part. You're never going to see this. So. Okay. Good. Yeah, let's go from, well, let's do that entrance. Can we start B, or somewhere after B, or whatever, let's start B. Right here, where she just played. So it's kind of fly. So your instincts are good. Can you play you play a much more transparent sound and with lots of low speed. So 1, 2, like I'm using so much speed that rather 1, 2 in half, but so that, I see it says forzando there. Forzando doesn't necessarily mean kick somebody in the back or something like that. It could be an expression, like, a romantic feeling.
Yeah.
It's a little aggressive, right? Good. Great. Okay, so when you get to these horn calls here. But that's one of those things where, can I play I want to feel like, here you go, you guys play now, rather than, what's going on, you guys playing? Okay, fine. Yeah, okay, good. Fantastic. Hear this one, is this a better fingering to play this chord? So, these are the last 2 notes you're going to play, right? So you have a whole step and a whole step between your first and third finger. All you do is move up a half step and put these 2 guys there. Yeah.
I think it would be really good with practice.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, but you understand, it's like instead of having to get, just because it says it's an E flat doesn't mean you have to play it with your 4th finger, right? Yeah, cool. All right, good. Here's another shift there, one of those little.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just heard it though. Yeah, so lift your bow up, stops the sound, lift your bow up, and shift faster. If you don't want as much of a hole, you don't want to have right, just get your bow off the string, get rid of those. All right, cool. Here's a fingering suggestion for this one. When you're going to play that fifth, look how I play that. It's like totally flat, rather than trying to figure. So I actually feel like, yeah, it's totally flat. And what happens is there's this little curve, or there's like a little cul-de-sac on your finger there. And if you put it the right way, the same amount of flesh is on both strings. So actually you don't have to worry about the fact that it's a little angled like that. Play individual. No, do it again. So the C is flat. So when the C is flat, put a little more flesh on the C. Okay. Okay, go ahead. Okay, now put a little more flesh on the. Right. So that's one suggestion. That's one suggestion for that. Then what about playing this with your second finger. Or 2-3-3. Or 2-3-3 on your. No, on the G sharp. Yeah, good. Yeah, I think that's a little more secure, right? So you have to play, then just jump to the. Right. Good. All right. Can you remember that? Maybe.
I can watch the video back too.
Oh, video. Oh no. Great. Good. So this one. Can you play this phrase without your bow once? The very last, this guy here. Good. So of the expressive notes, which is more expressive, the D or the C? Okay. Can you show me the? Can you show me those? Good. Can you play it now? Practice a little bit so you don't lose your sound, but you don't get too nervous, but go as far to the frog as you can. And you're trying to get your sound to just sort of float up into the heavens that way. And who cares if your bow shakes or something like that? We don't care about that stuff. That has no importance whatsoever. I think it's the most important thing to a student that, oh, my bow's going to shake and I'm so worried about it. It just means you care more. Okay, one last thing I have to talk about is this little pinky curl that you have in your fourth finger. You got to work on that now, because that's one of those things. The greatest violinists in the whole in the history of, if you watch videos of Jascha Heifetz or Nathan Milstein, their fourth finger is like sitting there. They're just ready to play the fourth finger all the time. And if it's like curled like this, first of all, tension, and the other thing is it's like it's not ready to play. So it's more difficult for you to uncurl it. So if you can figure out to say, I like you a lot, you're okay, everything's going to be fine. It's going to become a member of the family, and you're going to play on your fourth finger all the time, because you're going to
to visit us. It's always a great visit when you can come see us, and we appreciate your working with the two students. Thank you to Kiran and Penny for playing, and Juhi for accompanying. And next week, we have a recital in this room, so everybody better be back. And we'll see you all next week. Have a good rest of your rehearsals today.